Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community and 7 questions with Emmy.
Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. Today I'm talking with Makenzie Phipps. She is a country music artist. And should we just get started with the interview?
Yes.
Okay, question number 1. How did you get your start in the music industry?
Well, starting from the very beginning, I started singing when I was 4 years old, and my family was very musically oriented. So I was around music pretty much my entire life. And I was just very fascinated with music in general, as well as just instruments. And I was fond of the piano at a young age. So when I was 10, I started taking piano lessons. And then from that point on, I started doing my own shows when I was 14 years old. So I kind of started at a very young age. I always tell people 4 is my lucky number since I started singing at 4 and doing shows at 14. And then I started learning guitar when I was 15. And I had just made my way throughout, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, North Carolina, just the sister states, because I'm originally from Virginia. And up until recently, 2 months ago, back in June, I moved to Nashville.
Well, I am actually from Virginia. So,
Oh, okay. What part?
Richmond.
Okay, so northern. I am from Bluefield.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm on the Virginia-West Virginia line.
If you could perform with any artist, who would you choose?
Ashley McBride, because I love everything about Ashley. I got introduced to her a couple of years back when she had opened up for Miranda Lambert at a concert, and I just love her music because I feel she definitely writes about the truth, and I can relate to a lot of things to her on a music standpoint as well as a personal standpoint. I just think she's so amazing, and I would love to one day share the stage with her.
I'm 10 years old, and when you were my age, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, now I got to go all the way back because, I'm actually pretty much half of your age, just with
Yeah.
1 year added to it. But I just always loved music. I guess when I was younger, I always thought I was going to be a singer in the world. I did at one point want to be a music teacher, but that was a little bit later, past the age of 10, because that's when I met my choir teacher in middle school. And I think I met her when I was like 12. But when I was younger, I just loved singing. So that was basically the path I wanted to go down. So I think 10-year-old me would be proud of where I'm at.
Yeah. When you aren't performing or doing music, what do you like to do in your spare time?
I love to cook and bake.
Me
I do not
too.
have my own recipes. I don't have my own recipes, but I like getting other people's recipes online and trying out different things. I'll look on TikTok for different dinner recipes, whether it's in the crock pot or air fryer or grilling. And I also love spending time with my cat. She's over there. So I'm surprised she's not came over here yet because anytime I do an interview, she always has to make a guest appearance.
What's your cat's name?
Raven.
Okay, that's cool. Um, we always have to look for recipes too because we don't have any like really good ones. But then we find really good ones on like online and like on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I am. And especially my mom, my favorite meal that she makes is chicken and dumplings. And I asked her how she like came about with her recipe. And she said she had gotten a recipe a long time ago. And then over the years, she's like changed it to make it her own. So I kind of do that a little bit with the foods I make.
Yeah, we do that too sometimes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever been to Idaho and tried our famous potatoes? And what's your favorite way to have a potato?
I have not been to Idaho. And you actually just brought up a very good point to me that I did not realize potatoes are a very big Idaho thing. Because if I think about it, like Idaho russet potatoes. So that really just piqued my interest there. I love potatoes. Potatoes are like my favorite vegetable. I think everybody in the world probably their favorite vegetable is a potato, even though we probably don't consider it a vegetable because it's a big carb and all that. But I love mashed potatoes, but
Me
I'm
too.
picky with my mashed potatoes. Like I don't like them thin like the boxed potatoes. I like them pretty thick and creamy.
That's like the exact same with me. I don't eat any mashed potatoes unless my dad makes them because he makes them
Yeah.
the perfect way. But like if we go to like like a restaurant, I'll be like, I'm not getting mashed potatoes, I'll get a baked potato instead or something like that.
I'm always picky with them. Like if I go to any restaurant and they have mashed potatoes, I always ask the waiter or waitress beforehand. I'm like, is it worth it? Is it worth me getting the mashed potatoes? Because I am a picky Southern person.
I'm gonna have to ask that now when I go to restaurants. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I love this question because I've been asked it multiple times just throughout my career. And I always say at the end of the day, in 5 years, if I made it big one day and became a household name, like all of the other artists in the world, Lainey Wilson, Miranda Lambert, Ashley McBride, so forth, I would be 100% content with that. But if I was able to make my career with music a career to where I can live comfortably and not have to worry about going and getting another job like that or switching career paths and just being able to live my life comfortably, financially and personally, I would be fine with that too.
Yeah. Can you share a piece of advice with me?
Yes. So, one piece of advice I have always told people, especially since I started out at such a young age, is to not be afraid of failure. Because when I was younger, a big thing with me was I was so scared to even attempt to do anything that would be considered to be the next level because I was terrified of failing. And that held me back from a lot of things that I maybe could have gotten ahead at more or went to that next step because I was just afraid of failing and being taken back a step. And I've learned, especially in this industry, that every day is a new challenge. You're going to have something going on, whether it's in your career life or your personal life, that sometimes you have to take risks and you pray to the Lord that hopefully they pay off, but always go into it with a positive attitude and just remember that sometimes it may not be what you thought you needed at that time, or it may be a point where you're not climbing up the ladder just yet or getting to where you want to be just yet, but just know that the Lord has a plan and to just take every day one day at a time and just hope for the best.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember, new 7 questions interviews are posted every Thursday. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Love you guys. Bye! Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.